Hey everybody, Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors, and today's lesson is teaching everybody how to actually use your harness to go up in a tree. Here in northeastern Illinois, this is what we hunt in. We don't get too many clearings. And the kind of trees that you're going to find yourself up the most are maple and oak, which means you're going to need to be about 10, 12 feet, 15 feet maximum, but you don't need to be that high. So you're going to need to strap yourself in because you're going to be standing at the top of a stand somewhere, leaning against a tree. And the one thing that I want to tell you guys, spend some money on that harness. That thing's there to save your life one day when you're really leaning in. So I might skimp on a lot of stuff. I'll skimp on the backpack that I buy and stuff like that, but I don't skimp on this. This is a muddy vest style harness, and you're going to see me go put it on in a little bit. But get something that's comfortable, get something that's got some utility as well. This one's got pockets for my binoculars, everything like that. It's like a backpack and a strap, and it just slips right on like a vest. Let's go get started over there. I'm going to go put the camera in a tripod, and you're going to see me put it on, and I'll show you how to strap in. That's my deer. You guys have seen this bag, so we won't cover this. One of the things that even a really good range like this doesn't do a good job of is let you simulate strapping yourself into a tree. And yet sometimes it's actually one of the strangest experiences, is the whole idea of feeling comfortable in a harness that's carrying half your body weight while you lean precariously over the edge of a platform and place your life in that strap to hold you while you're taking a shot at a deer. So today we're going to strap into that tree and do a little practicing. This would be something that you do at least a couple of times before you ever go out in the woods. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be 5:30 in the morning when you go out. You're going to be looking at a tree in the dark. It's going to look completely different in the daylight 2 hours later when you're up that tree. You're going to be like, wow, did I really climb this thing? It didn't look like this. I didn't think it was this tall. I didn't think it was this thin. I didn't think it was whatever. In other words, you don't want to wait until that kind of a situation before you decide to test out what it feels like. You need to understand what it feels like when you're still safe. So we're going to strap in here, and if you slip and you fall, it's the ground here. But if you screw up when you're 15 feet up in a tree and you did something wrong, if you screw up and fall, you slip off of your platform, you're going to be sitting there hanging like an idiot 15 feet up in the air. You're going to be tired hanging in that strap like a parachute from hell. You're going to be trying to figure out how you can hold on to that tree and drag your sorry butt back over onto the platform and then hook back in or get down and stuff like that. In other words, you don't want to do that. Practice here on the ground until you get used to it. Even count the steps that you go through to strap in, and then count through those in the dark when you're up in a real tree, and you'll just be way better prepared. Let me finish getting ready here. Gonna put this in a tripod. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, if you can't stand comfortably with all of the equipment that you got that you're going to bring in the woods, you got too much equipment. Everything I need goes inside that one simple bag. If you get the messenger style strap, you're going to be way happier than anything that's got backpack straps, because that's just going to bind in. You're already wearing thermal underwear, you already got coveralls on, and then you're going to try to put a book bag on top of that. It doesn't work. You're not going to put a belt on, some kind of, what do they call it, a fanny pack or something like that. Doesn't work. This got this great big huge hoop. You just throw it on and it doesn't bind or pinch or anything, and you get to go through the woods. So find yourself a messenger bag I don't even care if it's black or brown, doesn't matter. Deer don't look at this stuff. They don't judge you on the quality of the camel when you're sitting up in the tree. But everything goes inside there where there's few pockets as possible. One big pocket where all your major stuff goes, mask, hat, stuff like that. And one tiny little one on the side that's going to be where you go to look for your foot warmers and stuff like that. No more pockets. The more pockets you have, the more you're probably going to lose stuff. Just keep it simple, guys. And it's got to be something that you know you can walk around in for a half an hour and not get sweaty. Enough of that. Let's take a look at this strap. This is a vest style one. Basically follow the price tag. If it costs more than $100, you're in the right direction. Why? Because this thing's going to save your life one day. You're going to be really, if it's something cheap, if it's only a $20 or a $30 or a $40 strap, you're not going to trust it. And if you're not going to trust it, you're not going to lean. And if you're not going to lean, your arms are going to be banging into the tree when you're trying to take the shot. In other words, you're setting yourself up for failure. Some things to look out for. I'm not going to name any particular brands. Yes, I use Muddy, but I've used other ones before. You're going to get one that's got a rubberized shock cord on it. Because if you ever do decide that if this ever is going to save your life, if you slip and you start to fall, you do not want that brutal shock of a non-stretchy strap suddenly jerking you. Man, you are going to feel that right down into your family jewels. Better that you have a little bit of stretch. That's going to save you. And you'll find that this is actually really helpful when you're leaning in and taking the shot too. So that's built right into the vest. You're going to see that I've got really easy to work with leggings. These little snap releases that are easy to do in the dark, and they're easy to do when you're wearing coveralls and all kinds of other baggy stuff. So let me back up and show you all the pieces. This goes on so easy. I get out of my Jeep, I'm already wearing my coveralls, or I slip into my coveralls, and this is all that you have to work with. Make sure you don't put any twists in. Take all the twists out before you run it around your leg, because those twists, they're going to come back to get you. You're going to suffer if you have twists. And then you just look for the clasp. Clasp it in. Super easy. Do the same thing for the other leg. Reach down here, find where the stitches are. Take all the twists out. Make sure there's no twists right here, because if you ever actually need this harness, if you suddenly need to lean against it, if you have twists inside the webbing, that's just going to form this tight little rope that's going to gouge in there, and man, it is going to be uncomfortable, I promise you. Finish clipping that one in. Ready to go. If you've got it loose enough, then the next thing is you've got this carabiner. A carabiner just turns out it should be a one hand operation. You unscrew it, you pull it open, hook in, and then finish tightening it back up. And it should be comfortable. You should be able to walk around with this. Everything else is just a little add-on. This is not structural. This is not holding my body weight. This is holding my body weight now. Everything I need, the zippers and stuff, that's just to hold the gear on. But now I'm actually ready to go. You should get something that's long enough that even when you've got all kinds of bulky clothing on, you can actually manipulate this hook. Because there are going to be times when you have to hook in. There's going to be times you want to hook out. It's got to be easy to work with. So you want to get used to having this on. Walk around the house, do whatever it is that you want. The rest of this is just to keep everything together. These are just zippers. But I've tried different harnesses out throughout the years and others, and I can tell you the vests are the nicest, guys. Pockets in here. I can put my binoculars on one side, my glove on the other, a spare pair of gloves over here, a Cliff Bar. Super nice that way. You've got clips, you got clips on both sides for your binoculars. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. So we've got everything all tightened up, and it can be a little loose down here. If you see, this can be a little bit loose. You don't want it tight. If you have this too tight, then when you put your coveralls and everything on, you're getting ready to go in the woods and you're about to literally walk a mile in, this is going to bind and you're going to be hunched over. And by the time you get up into the tree with all that reduced mobility, you're going to be tired. You're going to be sweating. So make it comfortable so that you have a good range of motion putting that harness on. It's still going to save your life when the time comes, if you ever need it. But it's going to be comfortable when you're sitting in there too. So the next thing we're going to do is put the strap up there. Let me go dig that out. basically straps. Let's adjust this a little bit. There's basically two types of straps, good ones and bad ones. The bad ones are just a single belt that have some kind of a mechanism that lets you hook in and they quick release. Not really a good idea. You don't want to ever give that belt the opportunity to be able to quick release. So this one actually has a piece of webbing that's easy to feed through, quite all right. You could do this in the dark, you can do this literally by feel, but there's no quick release there that it could ever conceivably quick release its way out, and suddenly your whole strapping mechanism is useless. The other part that you want to look for in a really good web belt is that there's this extra place where the carabiner actually hooks in. Don't buy a belt where you have to put your carabiner and hook it right onto the webbing itself. You're just asking for trouble. Look for all kinds of mad double stitching and look for an extra hoop. That's where the carabiner is actually going to come in. So when you've got this up above your head, you can actually feel for that. You can literally just feel without even looking, hook your carabiner in and you're ready to go. I'm going to point the camera up at the tree now, over at this one, and we're going to see me actually strap in. Give me a second here. All right, should be right about there. All right, there's two ways that you can strap into your tree, guys. There's the right way and there's the wrong way. The wrong way is that you keep it down low, right about eye level, something convenient that you strap in here. But what that means is if you ever fall out, you are totally fucked, because this strap right here is going to leave you hanging this distance below the platform. You're not going to get back on it again. You're going to just be hanging there until somebody comes to get you. You're screwed. You don't want to do it. So when you're putting the strap in, you'll see that it only makes sense that the strap here that goes around the tree, your anchor strap, should be as high up as you can possibly reach comfortably. Don't go on your tippy toes. You're standing on a platform 15 feet above the ground. That'd be stupid. Flat-footed, leaning against the side of your ladder, the side of your stand, reach straight up, strap it in like that. So here we go. There I am, up comfortably high, but not excessively high. This way, when I strap in, I just have to reach up the tree without even looking there until I see where the webbing is, the loop is for my carabiner, and just by feel alone, I can actually hook the carabiner in, dial it in, and lock it in, and I'm ready to go. More importantly, when I actually start to lean against the strap itself, I've got a lot of clearance here, and if I should ever fall, I'm actually very, very close to where my platform is. I can find a way to get back up. So that's what you want. High up, not uncomfortably, not dangerously high up, but the higher up you can get this, if you ever actually need to use the harness, if it saves you, you're that much closer to being able to get back into your stand comfortably instead of just hanging there helplessly. So even me, I'm actually going to make an adjustment. I'm going to go up just a little bit higher, and you can do that now that you're strapped in. I'm actually rerouting this because it turns out there's one more branch up there, and it's not going to let me get as high as I need to get. Make sure you don't have any twists in your webbing. Get a twist in it like I just did, take the twist out. If you have a twist, if you fold the webbing, you're putting yourself in a great deal of danger, and you're making a pinch point in that webbing that might actually cause it to fail. There we go. Now I'm hung in very, very nicely, and when I lean, I'll actually be able to take a whole lot of really good shots here. Now, one question that's probably going to be on your mind is, what direction should I have put the strap in, the whole stand in the first place? And really, for a right-handed shooter, you want to be able to point in the direction that you're actually going to be shooting the deer, and your stand is going to be 90 degrees to the right of that. So you are not my deer lane right now. This is not how I would be setting up. I'm setting up right now so that this is where I think the most likely location for the deer is going to be. This 90 degrees to my left, that I'll be able to shoot like this very, very comfortably. But the minute I start going this direction, my whole body is not going to be able to twist. And now it's going to be a lot of shoulder doing the drawing. It's going to be a very weak draw over here. So this area, this is not where the deer are going to be coming. You're setting yourself up in your stand so it's facing this way, and it's this quadrant is where you're expecting the deer to actually come. This is where you're going to have the strongest, best draw, is right through here. And you're clear, you're away from the tree, you're leaning away, but you feel really comfortable inside your harness. And just get used to shooting like this. So I'm going to take the next couple of shots over here at the deer, just shooting from right here. Let me go get it, and I'll turn the camera around so you can see from there. One thing I wanted you guys to notice, even as I'm setting up here, is that if your harness isn't comfortable to walk around in, like you see me doing right now, you got the wrong harness. If you do something like that, if you get a harness that's too small, it's too bulky, it's got too many knobs and bells and whistles on it, too many straps, all going in different directions, there's a pretty good chance you're going to actually put it on wrong when you're actually up on your stand. And that's more dangerous than probably having nothing at all, is literally building the equivalent of a hangman's noose, and you hang yourself instead of actually saving yourself. You don't want to do that. All right, let me go get strapped in. I'm trying to think what's the best way to actually show you guys shooting. I guess I'm going to turn around and still point the camera back at the tree, because seeing me shoot, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring the whole camera back behind the tree and shoot from there. But I've also got to do a good job of measuring here, because my first shot is going to be I'm actually about 28 meters away, so 30 yards away, where I'm going to go get set up. Let's go try this. The other nice thing about having a big long strap like that, giving yourself room up on that platform, is it just makes it easier. It's just more comfortable. You're gonna be up there the whole day, you know. You don't want to do stuff to, you also notice that I've got it so clean here that what I also keep are a couple of little screw-in spikes where I can actually use it as a hook for my bag on one side, a hook for my bow on the other, and that's it. I don't have it mounted on here yet, but my quiver actually goes on the bow. So there's only two things that get hung up in the tree. My backpack on one side, my bow on the other, the end. Don't put all kinds of things in it. You're gonna damage the tree. Just don't have too many pockets, because when you're up there, you're gonna find out that that actually does more harm than good. It's not convenient at all. All right, let's get this set up. Okay, that's pretty good. There. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You're going to see me hooking up there, grab my bow, and practice sweeping across that entire quadrant. The quadrant formed right here, where this is my first ideal, the beginning ideal shot, and I can shoot all the way over to this side. In fact, let's try like that. And my weak side is going to be this quadrant that I want to stay away from. So when you're trying to place in your stand, you want to look for all kinds of foliage immediately off to your right. That's where you want there to be foliage, trees, stuff like that. So anything that obscures you from the deer and the deer from you, you want that all right there on your right-hand side. So the deer can't see you and he's walking right past, right into your sweet spot. And that's where you get to take him. All right, let's see. All right, I'm in my stand. I'm leaning out at almost a 45-degree angle when I'm taking my shot. This is what it actually looks like for me. I actually stand on a ladder-based stand, so I'm one rung down. That way the sides of my legs can actually kind of push against the edges of the ladder. And it actually is really, really solid. I don't slip or feel like I'm going to pirouette around my strap. So here goes the shot. I'm going to pause because there's somebody driving by with a really loud BMW. Again, we're role playing. The deer is coming. I'm looking at the trees he's going by. I've already ranged those trees. So I know when he's coming by at about the 30-yard mark. I'm going to set myself up for 30 meters and I'm going to wait for the shot, wait for the shot, wait for the shot. Step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, draw back under the chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, with the tip of the arrow on the target, on the target, on the target, on the target. Step 5, slow motion release. Nice kill shot, just a tiny little bit low. But you see that I'm able to lean way out so I don't have anything interfering with my draw, and if need be, I can actually track the deer through a whole 90 degrees waiting for that right shot. Let me do one more. Step 1, pick your gap. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow on the target, on the target, on the target, on the target, on the target. Step 5, small motion release. Nice other kill shot. Deer's facing to the camera. Camera left. Let's put one more in. Here's another little tip. Keep breathing. Don't stop breathing when you're up in the tree and the moment comes. Be breathing through all of this so that you don't start to panic. Step 1, choose your gap. The deer is coming, but now he's coming from camera right to camera left. He's coming through all that foliage that I'm hiding from. So he doesn't see me, he doesn't see me, he doesn't see me. But I got little glimpses of him. He's walking to the left, walking to the left, walking to the left. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right on the sweet spot behind his front arm, his front leg. Step 4, tip of the arrow on the target, on the target, on the target. Step 5, small motion release. And if you bag the deer, the next thing you do is close your eyes and shut up. Be quiet and listen for where the deer is going. Start tracking and pointing. Point, 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 point. And when you don't hear any more motion, that's when you open your eyes and you look for the highest possible landmark. That's what you got to try to find when you climb back down. And then you're going to be in that tree for about 10 minutes. Being as absolutely silent as you possibly can be. Let the deer think nothing is chasing him, and he's only going to go about 30-40 yards, and he's going to lay down, take a break, and he's not getting up. And you just saved yourself 150 yards of tracking that you didn't have to do because you didn't spook him into thinking that he had to run. Let me unhook. All right, you guys got to see a little bit about how I use a harness and how I get up in a tree and how I strap in. You saw some best practices, and you also saw some don'ts, things that you want to try to avoid. Number one thing is, though, guys, if you're going to be in a tree, if you're going to be wearing a strap and a harness, practice. Practice on the ground right in your own backyard. Get used to the motions, get used to the steps so that it becomes second nature. You don't want to be fumbling around trying to learn how to use that strap, that harness for the very first time. When you're out in the woods, it's 32 degrees, it's 5:30 in the morning, there's a frost on the ground, or it's wet and you're rainy and miserable. That is not the time that you try to figure shit out. You do it here on a quiet day, calm day on the ground. You start to feel you start to get used to what it feels like as you shift your body weight. Where's that sensation that maybe I want to spin around, and you got to figure out what you want to avoid, where your sweet spot is. Now you know. It's straight ahead of you and 90 degrees to the left if you're right-handed. That's where you want to be taking your shot. So you're setting your stand up to be 90 degrees to the right of that. It's not that the stand is facing where you think the deer are coming from. It's that the stand is facing literally 90 degrees to the right of that, so that your shot is always to the side. Stand is facing this way because my shot is going to be coming from this area. I think that's it for the day. I only want to try to get those 2 videos in. It's the first couple of days of deer hunting season in northeastern Illinois. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm up to, I think, 276 people. Hyena Man, you wanted to see up in Canada, you wanted to see the gear that I use. This is part of it. So that's it. It's Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. We'll see you out there. Bye.